let's just do a brief introduction. I think some of you may have tuned in for some of Flytec's webinars before. I'll try to keep the introduction pretty brief. But for those that are new, just what kind of sets us apart is UniFi. We're a very different vendor. We just, when there's a lot of in the networking space where we kind of started and we were growing the largest, we have a very different reputation. We approach things differently. And that's because we try to focus, we're instead of monetizing our software and build up on a license model, we've tried to build together a value-added solution where we want to be able to provide affordably priced, quality hardware that's accessible to any market across the world, and we want to be able to bundle it up with a really quality software management experience. And for us, that means that despite the fact you're not paying for our software, we want to have the best software management experience out there, and we want to be able to constantly improve that experience as time goes on. If you haven't used UniFi recently, check out the software update. I promise you there'll be some changes there. We have a very rapid software development cycle. And what that means, though, is that once you purchase UniFi over the course of operation, despite paying no licenses to us, you're going to keep getting a better and better solution as time goes on. And that's how we invest in our customers. And that's why, how we kind of show how we put you in a position to be successful. We want you to be able to have the tools you need. And if there's any concerns or product, feature requests, we're always all ears to add those things. We're always going to be working on those. So please feel free to share any of those, after in the call today. You can type that in the chat if you have any feedback. But this is kind of what's made us grow so quickly, and we're really in a good place right now. I think we're poised for a lot of growth on the enterprise space. We've been building up parity with a lot of different features and everything on the enterprise network stack. And we have this full ecosystem, and really the whole vision here is an end-to-end IT solution. So UniFi Network is access points, switches, gateways, and it's a really full-featured solution that can handle whatever scale you can throw at it. That didn't used to be the case. I've been here since I started working at Ubiquiti 2015, and back then, we hadn't even released the first UniFi security gateway yet, so we didn't have a gateway device on UniFi. So in that time since, we now have a full-stack solution that's capable of handling entire stadiums. And the same goes for Protect. We've been really increasing our scalability of our products. We released our enterprise network video recorder, which has up to 16 hard drive bays, and now you can have Vantage Point instances that merge together multiple sites. So you can have very large deployments up to 1,000 cameras in a Vantage Point deployment. We also have UniFi Access, which is this really fast-growing door access control solution that is really built on ease of use and simplicity. It's all PoE-based infrastructure, which really makes it easy for integrators and MSPs to be able to add it onto your offerings. So if you're a network integrator and you've worked traditionally with maybe network equipment, maybe some VoIP equipment, but you haven't really gotten to physical security, I do recommend you get involved, because that's where we're seeing a lot of growth right now. Now, UniFi Talk today will be our focus, but we also have a number of other integrations and products, including UniFi Connect, which is a product where we bring together IoT device, digital displays, digital signage, EV chargers into one, we can manage this in one interface. And all these apps can be seamlessly switched between and managed for a global organization for thousands and thousands of sites. So whether you're doing it for your own organization or you're doing it for on behalf of your customers and building up a business, providing integration, managed service, UniFi is a great solution. Of course, our site manager is a core part of all of this we'll talk about today. It's kind of where you manage all your products. That license-free cloud management, this is how you access it, is through our site manager at unifi.ui.com. And for those of you who aren't aware, just a brief plug for this. This last week, we introduced UniFi Organizations. So for now in UniFi Organizations, we've added a feature set that's totally free to help with identity management and managing a global organization. It's totally free and can do things like integrate with your third-party SSO platform to be able to allow all your employees at your company to use our UniFi Identity Endpoint app to be able to log in with their with your SSO credentials, and then be able to connect with one click to the VPN to access the door to access to open the doors at any location, and it uses location to do that. And it also does things like soft phone. We'll talk about that today. For UniFi Talk, you can have your own software version of your phone on your cellular device, so that when you're away from your work desk, you can still receive those calls and make calls from your work phone. But I think the whole goal with UniFi as we're growing and more into these different verticals is we're trying to make it easier to manage an IT environment. I've worked in IT in the past. I'm from a technical background myself, and I know how difficult it can be to manage many vendor solutions. And so our goal, what we're trying to do is build up our trust among our customers and help make this the solution that is ideal for you to grow and to resolve your issues. And that's where we're seeing a lot of success. A lot of people are enjoying. They try using UniFi Protect initially, and then they start using the access control and then our network products. And we try to approach all of our products with that same degree of pro customer mentality. And so we're always trying to do good by our customers. So let's talk about UniFi Talk. UniFi Talk has been a long time coming. We've had UniFi VoIP solutions for a while. So early on, since I worked here, we came out with UniFi VoIP. This was G1 is what we refer to this now in terms of UniFi Talk. When we released this is our first product, and I think we learned a lot from this product. There were some problems with these phones and some things that could have been better. I think we definitely learned a lot, and we applied that to our next generation of phones when we came out with the G2 Talk phones. And with the G2 Talk phones, I think the hardware is much better. Better quality solution, and we kind of had applied some of the customer feedback, but then our feature set was still evolving. We didn't quite have a mature feature set yet when we first launched these phones. I think over the course of the last 2 or 3 years, you've seen a lot of additions of features on UniFi Talk. We're going to talk about some of those today, but I think that's G2 was great, and it's still many people are using it. You can still use these products now, but G3 represents this kind of balance of where we have full we have much more feature support, including the support of third-party third-party PBXs with UniFi Talk Relay, and we also now have a quality hardware that's current and keeps us on the cutting edge of what you need to manage your VoIP solution. So I think now it's a really good time to start. If you haven't worked with UniFi Talk in the past, I can understand that, where there was some misgivings maybe with the first generation, but as time got on, the platform has really improved dramatically, and it's in a really good place. I find it to be very easy to use, very easy to set up and manage, and compared to other PBX solutions I've worked with in the past, it's just not. It's so much easier and so much more plug and play, and that's kind of what we come to expect for UniFi. So today we'll talk about the G3 phones. Like this is we now have this new line of G3 Talk phones, and I think this is a balance of some new features with a new hardware, hardware specs and improvements we've made to these, including some other features we'll talk about. So right now we've released the first product that's available is the G3 Touch Pro. That product's now available right now. But this month we'll also be making available the G3 Touch Wall and the G3 Touch Enterprise. That should be available through Flytec and through for purchase, so you can order these products as well. So here's a comparison of what we currently our current platform. Again, like I said, the G2 products still totally usable. I've got them set up in my workspace, and I have and they totally work great. But our G3 products we're focusing on today, and just going to get a comparison of what these products support. Just note with G2 products, you're required to use the UniFi Talk PBX. With G3 products, now you have the option to use that third-party PBX and UniFi Talk Relay, which is exclusive to those G3 phones. So we'll talk more about that. And today, I just want to be clear, I'm not going to be showing you a slide deck all day today. We're going to also get into the software, and I'm going to show you the demo instance that I have set up so I can show you how some of these features are incorporated. And so depending on what your experience level is with UniFi Talk, and there's something that you want to know more about, I'm happy to go over that. So feel free to throw any questions in chat. I'm sure Pedro can keep me abreast of what questions you have. So but these are a good comparison. If you need this for reference, feel free to take a screenshot of this so you can kind of see how these products compare. You can also check this out at our site. Now we have those G3 phones, but we also, with the G3 phones, we're releasing our wireless handset here. So this is a Bluetooth device that allows you to use a cordless handset. So we also have the analog adapter, which is really helpful in environments where maybe you're retrofitting an existing VoIP deployment. You want to pull in some older analog phones into UniFi Talk. That's no problem with the UT analog adapter. Here you can pull those devices in and manage them through UniFi. And it's a really nice feature. Now let's talk about kind of UniFi Talk. One cool thing about UniFi Talk is it integrates with other UniFi apps. So that's the whole part of the idea with UniFi, right? The name implies it. We want to bring all these different aspects of IT management together into one space. And so with UniFi Talk, one of the integrations that we have that works really nice, I've got it set up here in my lab at home, is this UniFi access. So with this phone, you can probably see right here, I can open up here and actually make a call to my door access install, and I can go look at any point to see if anyone's waiting at the door. If someone comes to the door and rings the doorbell, I'll get a call on my phone indicating that someone's waiting at the door, and I can decide, and I can answer that phone call or just go ahead and unlock the door, and I can talk to the person and decide if I want to admit them. So this is a really nice feature. I think about this use case being like in a receptionist desk at an office, where maybe you have a waiting area, but then you have that's open. Maybe the external door is open, and you have a waiting area, and then you have another door that goes into the corporate offices. You can have a door access installed right there that then prevents people from getting access to the facility, but then they can call the receptionist desk if they have an appointment and say, hey, I've got an appointment to interview with the design team. And she can go ahead and admit them, or they can go ahead and admit them into the facility. And so it's a really nice feature that way. You can also call up to the administration suite, or, whatever different offices you want to. You can have a whole directory on your UniFi intercom, and it's really nice, a nice integration there. We also have UniFi Protect, which allows you to, from your VoIP, from your talk phone, to be able to open up your camera feeds, look at the status of your physical surveillance. And this is really a nice feature. You can actually access not just the cameras on your own site, but any Protect install that you have access to. So even if it's in a different location, say you're working in one office, but you want to go back and check on the headquarters and see what security looks like there, you can use your phone always to keep a feed up. That's sometimes a nice thing. It allows you to, like, if you have a camera at the entry point of the building, you can also see if someone's coming up to is going to be ringing the bell shortly, and that sort of thing. So you can keep that up all the time. We also have UniFi Identity. So this allows you, I mentioned earlier, to be able to sync credentials with your UniFi Identity account. And this allows you to use like this UniFi. You can use like UniFi Talk soft phone with this through the phone app. And you can also log into your account and get access to all the deployments that you should have access to this way. So let's talk about with G3, we've introduced the UniFi Talk Relay. So this is a new way of managing it. Most of you are probably familiar. If you're familiar with UniFi Talk, you'll understand that the way we've traditionally done it is all through the UniFi Talk PBX. That was required that you use our UniFi Talk software with the G2 phones. There was no option to use a third-party software or anything like that. With UniFi Talk Relay, we understand that there's certain situations where you want a very precise solution for a particular environment, and all the different solutions out there have advantages and disadvantages, and we trust you to be able to find the right fit for yourself. So we wanted to open that up to make it possible that you can manage and integrate UniFi Talk phones into whatever environment you want. This gives you the benefits of UniFi Talk phones, but also gives you the benefit of those third-party solutions that, depending on the situation, may be a better fit. So just kind of, side-by-side comparison with the Talk PBX, kind of the reasons that you might want to choose this. First of all, it's a locally managed solution. So if you're going to do a one-off site, it makes a lot of sense to go with the Talk PBX, whereas UniFi Talk Relay is really facilitated towards a cloud managed install. Also, UniFi Talk, I think, offers the most easy configuration and plug and play. You basically just plug these phones into PoE, open up your software, and it will detect the phones, and you can immediately start managing and making calls. It that quickly that you can assign a phone number to these phones, which we help you do, and then you can go ahead and build up a directory. You can set up advanced call routing policies. You can set up all sorts of other features. It's really streamlined setup, and it has that kind of user experience that you come to expect with UniFi. And I think that's, for a lot of us, the reason that you're going to consider using UniFi is that kind of ease of use, accessibility of the software. So sometimes when you're going to use those third-party PBX solutions, it may not be the case that that's that easy. And so, yeah, for some users, it's definitely preferable to use the UniFi Talk software. And this is all in one solution, so you don't have to have any. This is all you need is UniFi, a console to run UniFi Talk software. That can be a cloud key, that can be a cloud gateway. Any of those options works, but that's all you need is that and the phones, and as long as your phones are powered, connected to your network, that's all you need to be able to set up a whole phone solution for your business. And so I'd say the user this is right for if you're a kind of user that you want to make managing your VoIP system as easily as possible to where you don't have to spend a lot of time tweaking configurations. You don't need anything like really complex, although UniFi Talk can certainly do a lot more advanced call routing features and things and has a lot of nice features. I think the customer that's going to be ideal for is those that want simplicity and ease of use and that really that UniFi brand experience. So let's talk about UniFi Talk Relay. So those that when you want to use the UniFi Talk Relay, this is actually runs on our UniFi official hosted servers. So this is a cloud hosted instance of our software that you can use to manage your UniFi network products. And now you can also manage your UniFi Talk phones that way. The benefit of this is that if you have a global organization, say you have a company that has 30 different locations, small offices, you want to set up a VoIP solution that works across all those sites and is easily facilitates growth and that type of thing. I think UniFi Talk Relay is really good in that respect. So this allows the phones, of course, and this is only works for G3 phones. Just remember that Talk Relay is only available for G3 phones, but it allows them to be used with third-party PBX solutions like Ring Central, 3CX, Zoom, and others. So that's a nice thing, especially a lot of you worked with these solutions. You know that they've been around for a long time and they have a lot of different features and things that I think help make this a good fit for some people. Now, the other cool thing is we have zero-touch provisioning, which I'll talk about in just a second, a little bit more. But we basically have provided ways for you to scan a device and then ship it on to where it's going to go and have it plugged in without having to unbox it, set it up, configure it, and then take it, put it back in the box again, ship it onto the site where the installer is going to unbox it again. This allows for more streamlined experience. So that's the nice thing about UniFi Talk Relay is that you can, in a global organization, you can really kind of scale a lot easier. And so I think for the user, this is kind of ideal for is if you're at one of those these multi-site environments that wants to have a more cloud-based experience and you want to leverage those third-party integrations or advanced features, I think this might be the solution for you. So those are I hope that's helpful and that explains kind of, the difference between the two. Now, just something to keep in mind, you can also set up you can also set up third-party PBX on the phones themselves on a local scale. But that's going to be a little more complicated setup process. And I think typically, then UniFi Talk will be an easier and better solution for those cases. But if that's the case, all you have to do is when you're setting up the phones, you have an option on setup to be able to set up a third-party PBX solution. And you'll just follow the prompts on the telephone itself. All right, let's move on. So let's talk about the PBX and kind of what this UniFi Talk software and what it looks like. So this is kind of a general topology of what you expect with UniFi Talk. You have a cloud gateway that's going to be managing your software. Say it's a UDR7 or a Dream Machine Pro, whatever you have. And then you have some switches that are providing PoE to these Talk phones. These Talk phones then can all route calls in between each other, and then also can get an external phone line from our Talk service. So this is a nice product that balances both external connectivity to external phone lines as well as internal call routing and call handling. Key benefits, again, the ease of use is a big part of it. It's really just plug and play. It can really get you started and going very quickly. And then another thing I think I didn't have it mentioned yet, but that I really like about UniFi, I'll show you this whenever I take you through the software, is there's some really cool features that really are so easy to set up, but really add a lot of value to especially like a small business. Like, a small business may not have the budget to be able to afford to have a receptionist working that can answer the phone at all times and direct calls. So to have a smart attendant allows you to use our AI feature, which is really easy to set up, to be able to set up menus and be able to route calls automatically. Like when you call into a business and you get the dial 1 to call your party's extension or whatever. You can do that with UniFi, and it's pretty easy to set up and a lot easier than what you'd think. And then we have other things like AI voice transcriptions, which is kind of a nice thing for especially the deployments where this would be helpful, like where you're going to be doing a lot of maybe facilitating a lot of meetings, and you want to have follow up after the meeting and be able to streamline that process. Or maybe it's a liability concern. Maybe it's you're providing some sort of billing or billing support or something like that, and need to be able to keep recordings of this, you have lots of different options of how you do that. And the AI voice transcriptions are really easy to set up and use. And it's another way that you get a lot of value out of this product. And again, I think the big thing here is just a really good end-to-end solution. So on a local network, if you have UniFi Protect, UniFi Access, UniFi Network installed, I think the easiest way to manage it is on this local scale. And that's really kind of where UniFi has been really gearing itself towards the site manager, to managing a large organization of local installs, but using our cloud service to facilitate remote connections. So UniFi Talk integrates really well with that kind of like setup. And so I think from that side, that's where it's a good option. Now UniFi, let's move on to the next slide here. Let's just show you a little bit what the software management experience looks like. You can get some good analytics about, and this goes the same for both UniFi Talk as well as UniFi Talk Relay. You can get good analytics about how many calls are being made, what's the percentage of those are outbound, unanswered, go to voicemail, help you see what active users and durations and things like this. So in certain environments, like if you're using it with a customer service, maybe this is a really helpful way for you to get some information about performance of those customer service representatives. But there's a lot of different information here for what you need, and it's all really easy to manage and set up. Now that talk soft phone there on the right, this is a part of UniFi Identity. You can just go ahead and click the talk button, which I have it on my phone. I'll show you what it looks like. And I actually use this myself a lot because I'm often making calls. I do part of my job is I'm a solutions engineer, so I do pre-sales calls with large customers and things. And sometimes they want me to give them a call, but I don't necessarily want to use my personal phone number just because, when I don't want to get calls from people randomly all the time, right? So I'll use my work phone with the soft phone. I'll just go ahead and make a call here. I'll hit the talk button there, and it brings up my I guess it's kind of hard to see, but it brings up the keypad there, and I can make calls. And this will come out of my work phone that's assigned to this G3 Talk phone here. And it will also, whenever I get calls to my work phone, it'll also ring on my cell phone. So give me a chance to answer. If I'm out of the office for a moment, I can still get that call. So nice software, easy to use and easy to manage, and pretty straightforward. Now UniFi Talk Relay, this is kind of what it looks like here, where you have all these different phones that are connecting to the cloud to Talk Relay as a part of UniFi official hosting. These all need to be on the same UniFi official hosting instance. And just so you know how that works, we have two different tiers based on the number of devices you have, up to 100, I believe it is, and up to 1,000. And you have two different tiers. I think the first is $29.99, and the other is $99.99 for up to 1,000. So that's kind of what the subscription looks like. But it's very affordable. It's just to help pay for the cloud infrastructure that's required to manage this. But the key benefits here, wide compatibility. It's going to work with all these different third-party PBX platforms, and zero-touch provisioning. Like I mentioned, I want to talk a little about this. We have on our new UniFi G3 phone boxes, we have a little tab. It says zero-touch provisioning on it, and you can pull it off. And there's a little QR code that you can either scan, or it has little digits that you can take and go enter into the site manager. What's cool about this is that you can scan this, import it, put it in the CSV file, and then import that into the site manager. And what it will do is give you the chance to assign all those phones out to the proper destination. So if you have, 30 different, if you have a new site you're setting up and you're shipping on 8 phones to this remote office, you can peel off those tabs, scan the zero touch provisioning code, and then go ahead and assign them to be on that site. You don't have to unbox them and plug them in. By the time they get shipped onto the destination, they'll be able to be pulled out. They'll automatically be assigned to the right site and pull down the configuration and everything, and which will just streamline the install process. And so again, flexibility here is a big deal. It gives you a lot of options, whether you're a single office or across the world. You can work with UniFi Talk Relay. And like I said, the site manager pre-provisioning is really nice to be able to prepare the phones for deployment ahead of the time. So let's go on. And
can I put some questions in there?
And yeah, let's go ahead and answer some questions.
This one from Gerard. I'm not sure if you already responded through your presentation, but he's asking this: are there any plans for a desktop app, Mac OS and Windows, or a web-based one like 3CX has? We have a mixed environment of a main office with desk phones and remote users using their mobile devices, or a web soft phone on their desktop computers.
So I'm not sure what the plan is just yet in terms of a desktop app. We do have UniFi Identity apps for the desktop for both Windows and Mac. I actually use that as a part of our actual Ubiquiti. We use that for our VPN and for our one-click Wi-Fi. When you go to an office, you can use that to connect your device to the internet or to connect a VPN from wherever if you're working remotely. Now, UniFi Talk, in terms of having a dedicated desktop app, we don't have that yet, but I think that's something that would make a lot of sense, and I'll definitely discuss that internally and bring that up.
Two more quick questions. The next one from Neftali. Is there any preferred SIP trunk provider for the system?
No, I don't think we have any preferred provider. You have the ones that are in the actual UI, those are ones that maybe we've worked a little bit more to validate and gives you a little bit more of an assurance that if it shows up in the UI with the branding and everything, we've done our due diligence in actually setting it up and confirming how it works together. But really, you can work with you have the option of other when you're setting that up. I'll show you that in just a moment. Yeah, go ahead and give me the next question.
The third and last question for now. Does anyone know if the UniFi EV charger can be monitored on the G3 phone and if the US charger works globally, for example, in the UK?
In terms of being able to manage the EV charger from the phone itself?
Yes.
Not that I know of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's all for now, Andrew.
Okay. So I just want to share some other resources here, just the links here that I like to share when I do slide deck, but we're going to move over and switch into the lab. I'm glad you brought up those questions now. We're about halfway through, but it'll give us a chance to get more into the actual software. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen and take over with the software here. So let's go ahead and first of all, I'll show you the UniFi Talk software. This is the UniFi Talk PBX for those who aren't familiar. Let me zoom in a little bit here so it's a little easy for you to see. You can see this all right. Yeah. So this is basically where you get that dashboard. Now this is just my home install, so I only got one phone here, and you can see I can make the calls, but it's really easy to set up and manage. You go manage your phone assignments here under devices. You can go ahead and you adopt all your devices, and as soon as they're locally connected, they'll show up here and be available for management. And then you can go ahead and assign those out to different users. So in a corporate environment, especially if you're leveraging the UniFi Identity app, which I do recommend, it's totally free. Some of you may have worked with it back whenever there was limits to how many users that you could use it. We've eliminated all that, and now UniFi Identity Endpoint app is totally free for whatever scale you want. That means one-click VPN, one-click Wi-Fi, all these different features that you have through that app. You don't have to pay to use the UniFi Identity platform anymore. And that's just, we basically have been looking at what features people want the most and incorporating that and making them available for everyone. So that's going to be something we're going to keep doing and adding to, but this is just really easy way to add devices, manage them, and assign them. Now you can see here, I've also got my identity app hooked up to my phone. If let's say that I have access an intercom install where it allows you to list from a directory. Oh, we've got the receptionist desk. It could call to my phone here. I would answer it there. And if I'm not available to answer the phone there because I'm assigned to that phone on the identity app, I'll also receive the call on my phone as a part of that, which is just a nice thing. And that same goes for, you can have, it's just really easily integrated that way. That's also how I do the soft phone, right? So here I can see, a call log, and I can assign this out and import contact lists and all that. So you can also manage your users here, and you have a ability to set up groups to create like ingoing and outgoing groups where maybe pools or calls are sent to all users in this group. If no one answers it at the receptionist desk within this time frame, you can have it passed on there. There's lots of options for conditional routing. And then, with our contact list, it's really easy to add contacts and import them. You can import from CSV, and you can also manually add these. You can see here, I can import from CSV file, or I can add a new contact that way. Now, I mentioned with engagement, we have a really easy way to set up a smart attendant. Let's say I want to set up my smart attendant, name my smart attendant Gary. We can allow it to answer anything from my phone. So basically anything that's inbound from my phone line here will start to, we'll use these settings. So I can specify the hold music. You can choose from these nice options here, like serene or jazz, piano, upbeat. It's nice. You have options there. You can also upload your own hold music. So if you want to if you're a big Nickelback fan and you want to have some Nickelback hold music, I mean, I'm not the date myself. I think it might turn off some customers, but you have the option. If you want to do it, go ahead and upload some hold music there, and you can have Nickelback if that's what you're all about. You can go ahead and go next, and you can specify whether your smart attendant works after business hours. So I could have it set up to where when I'm in the office, it's just going to ring as normal. But whenever I'm out of the office, let's say that I want to go ahead and set it up to work outside of hours and anytime that I'm not in the office. So there I go. It's that easy to be able to assign this schedule to that, and I can have it set up to handle calls whenever I'm out of the office. And so this allows you to also go using an extension. So if I want to if I'm a larger organization, I have 100 employees, I want to set it up to allow people to be able to choose the option to call an extension. I can do that here just by allowing someone to be able to just this will allow them to not go through a directory or anything, but just call it directly to an extension. And the cool thing is you can customize your voice. You can choose the accent and all this other stuff. And this is a cool feature. And you can even type out whatever you want here and have it say whatever funny thing you want to say. I've experimented with this. I've enjoyed playing with this feature here from time to time. And you can also record your own as well. So there you go. That's basically how to set it up. And then now you have the options, for key press 1 to speak to sales and then it goes to Jamie. Press 2 to speak to technical associate. And then maybe that'll come to me. So you can specify this and customize all this process, and that's that easy to set up. Click finish, and it's already done. And you can see here's the flow. You can visualize it really easily. And I think this is that UniFi user experience that people like. It's really easy to visualize and get a feel for. And especially when you're dealing with a large network of routing options, it can get really complicated. And having this visual view, I really like. It helps you to make sense out of that. So here you go. If you want to change the behavior in business hours or outside business hours, I can go ahead and submit this to go ahead and go straight to voicemail. There we go. I can customize that however I'd like. Now it's a nice feature, and I think this is really easy to use. And so check it out and give it a try. And I think it's really polished, and I've never experienced a setup that easy with these type of features. Now you can also set up SMS. You have to register your phone lines basically to be able to do that. To be able to receive SMS to the software. And so this is an option. I'll just note this too. You do have the option to use our UniFi Talk app. You can actually integrate with SSO, with third-party SSOs to be able to import all your companies. All the administrators that are going to be using UniFi Talk or should have access to this. You can give them access to this, and they can do things like see SMS, incoming SMS messages and things like that. So there is some option to manage this through the dashboard. You can see here I can do things like let's see, it's pretty easy to go customize and make changes here. But I just want to make it clear that we do have the option to import users and manage this as a part of your third party SSO account now with UniFi organizations. We also, porting is another thing that came up. I think that sometimes people have questions about. The cool thing about UniFi Talk is we allow you to transfer any numbers you want to UniFi Talk. This means you can port from another carrier. If you do, you just click here. I agree to the terms and conditions there. And you can see here, it usually takes 2 to 4 weeks. So this is just part of the process of how phone lines are ported from one carrier to another. But we try to make that convenient and easy to do through the software. And it is very straightforward. You'll go ahead and click continue, and I can go ahead and change that there. I can also go ahead and change, I can go ahead and port from Twilio as well if I have a Twilio account. So I can streamline this as well. So that's a really straightforward process, but if you need some more information about it, you can just click learn more here, and you can see here, it'll give you a whole explanation for how number porting works. And so we've got some good documentation on UniFi Talk to help make sense of some of the more maybe something you're not familiar with on the talk management. So there we go. That's porting. Now organization, this is where you have to set up a business profile to support SMS messages and things like that. So these are where you need to complete that. You'll go ahead and complete this, register your business address, and this is to help with that processing. Now, you also can brand your outgoing calls with a caller ID name, and if you want to do that, you have to manage that after you've registered the business profile. And so also with stir and shaking, if you don't want calls, some people will block calls automatically if they appear to be robocalls. I have seen, especially when I first register UniFi Talk line and I make a call to my phone, I've seen it come up as suspected spam. If you register your business and all that and go through this process, you help prevent the likelihood of that happening, limit the likelihood of that happening, and you ensure that your calls are going to be treated as reputable instead of being like a potential spam by some of the carriers. Regarding other settings, you can customize your voicemail, including leave instructions, and you can customize how long you want it to ring before it goes to voicemail. A phone designer, this is another cool thing that you can do. You can actually, in a business, if you, let's say you're installing on behalf of a dental office, and they want to have a wall phone on each of in their exam rooms, and then in the lobby they also will have a phone, and they'll have one, two at the receptionist desks, and maybe in the offices. You can go ahead and create a design. You can upload your own branding, so you could have like a background that says Ridgecrest Dental on it, and then that will display your branding and will look nice. And everything. So this is a nice thing to be able to do, especially if you're doing this on behalf of a business, to kind of show that you're a little extra touch of care for a customer. It really takes no extra time. It's very simple to do, and you can go ahead and assign it out to however many phones you want to at that point. Now, I think that covers kind of like the general settings. Some more things I've mentioned before. You can also enable AI transcriptions, so you can do call recording as well. You can specify, just remember, you have to make sure you know your regulations before you enable this. And you can go ahead and turn on call recording and transcriptions. You can also turn on redaction, so the personal identifiable information is redacted from the transcriptions. This is a way that you can meet some compliance regulations and requirements, or if you just want to keep privacy of these recordings or these transcriptions, then that's a good feature to enable. But yeah, this is really you can add a call recording announcement here too, including I can record my own and say, this call is being recorded for quality assurance purposes. You know, I can do that myself, or I can have the voice do it here. And you can just write it, type it out, and then it will read it. There you go. I think I could give him some competition, maybe, if you want a Southern touch on your call recording announcement. I'm your guy, right? So there we go. But I think yeah, I've tried to give you a good idea of the software. Is there any questions about UniFi PBX right now while I'm in here that anyone wants to see, or anything I can help answer?
I have a few questions here submitted, Andrew.
Sure.
One says about, let's see, the PBX. It says from Michelle. Hi, I work with 3CX and I'm very familiar with it. I was really excited to see the possibility of integrating UniFi Talk Relay with 3CX, but I haven't been able to make it work, and I haven't found any documentation or support on how to do it. UniFi phones also don't appear as supported devices in 3CX. Is there any official method, support, or guide available to integrate UniFi Talk Relay with 3CX?
So I don't know exactly where you've gotten through in the process. I would be interested in hearing more. So maybe after this call, we can follow up with you. In terms of how elaborate it is, I'm showing you it's pretty straightforward in terms of the software. So we have here, you can specify 3CX. You can choose the PBX preset here, and then specify the IP address and domain. So whatever the 3CX convention is and what it would be connected to, you would specify that here. And then once beyond that, in your case, I guess it's I would like to follow up with you probably afterwards, because it's probably difficult for me to troubleshoot over a webinar here with you. Not that I wouldn't love to, but I think it might be easier if we follow up over email. So let me see what I can do afterwards. But there's not a whole lot of features or settings here that where complications encountered. So if there's maybe a potential issue with 3CX, then I'd be happy to help figure it and sort that out and get you in touch with our support team to help manage that. So just so you know, you can also if you've already done it already, turn on debug logging to make sure you're getting the full logs, and then you can download support files into our support team, and they can review it and see what the what the error message is and everything.
Okay, here's another question from Miles. Will zero-touch provisioning be available for Unified PBX?
So I think the real benefit of it is typically whenever you're doing cloud-based installations, because really if you're local to a site, it's no more complicated to plug in the device and then just adopt. And then it's there presented for management if you're local to the device. So that's really where we see the complications, and I think that's why it's become a defining trait of that. Now I'll let you know that with our other products, you can have zero touch provisioning. Like I can show you what the settings are on that. Let me go back to. I'll go back to our site manager real quick, and I'll just show you real quick. So I'll go back to site manager, and the way that you do this is you go now into inventory, and here you can go ahead and assign. So you can see here, I only have the option. I have the option of my sites, but it doesn't give me the option of those local sites. So you can assign these. It's actually UMR, so it's a little bit different. But I think with my phone, if I go ahead and add that on here, it's going to give me ability to assign it to whatever site I want. But I think mainly the benefit is going to be for cloud instances because, if you're local, it's going to be pretty straightforward and easy to install anyways. And there's not much benefit. You can still pre-configure a site, of course, before you plug in the devices. It's just the main benefit with zero touch provisioning will be to be able to once you have the inventory, designate where they're going to go before they go there, and then once they get there, then they're automatically showing up where they're supposed to go. But yeah, I don't see any reason why it doesn't work, but I may need to verify that.
Okay, here's a third one from Chris. Is it possible to use an outside line to call into a UniFi Talk line and check voicemail like other providers?
That's a good question. I've never done that myself, but I know it's possible from the soft phone feature set. Let me see if I can figure that out right now. I guess apparently you can do voicemail, email notifications, Slack, email, and Teams now. In terms of if we can allow you to go in, I'm not aware of that feature if it's there, but it may be, and I'm not aware. Maybe someone else can share. Happy to research that further though.
Okay, that's all I have for the moment, Andrew.
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and go on. So I appreciate you asking those questions. I will refer you. We got some good articles here that can help answer. So especially on UniFi Talk Relay, for instance, which I just showed you the PBX, but UniFi Talk Relay, I'll show you that as well. Again, I'll go in here to my organization, which I've created a new organization as a part of this. I'm going ahead and manage this. And you can see at the top, now I have that Talk Relay icon showing up, and that's different than UniFi Talk. Now, this is the only place you're going to find. You're not going to find it on those local sites. You're only going to find it on the cloud managed the cloud managed instances of UniFi official hosting. So this is really as simple as it is. Here you'll see that you have basically a very similar menu. You can add here your ZTP code or scan a QR code, and then you can assign it here if you haven't already pre-provisioned already. But basically, this dashboard is all about giving you analytics. You're not going to be able to do you're not going to be able to configure everything because it's not through UniFi Talk. So as a result, you'll have limited configuration options, which will be more of an analytics dashboard, as well as things like a contact list and that sort of thing, and a call log. So it's really not a lot of features to it because it's just basically the relay that goes onto your third-party PBX solution, and that's going to where all the features are located at. So let's walk you through just some questions that people may have. Just so you know, you can try UniFi Talk Relay for free. We have a free trial for 30 days for UniFi official hosting. You can activate that, try it out, and all you need is a phone. And then you can go ahead and test that and just have your third-party PBX solution. You can just have one talk phone, connect to that, and then you can test it out and manage it. But I think that's a nice thing to do if you want to try it out and see. I think the UniFi official hosting is very easy to set up for those that aren't aware. I can show you real quick how you do that. Just go back to Organization Manager, you go to Add Site, and you'll just go ahead and set up a new official hosting. So here we go. Test I can go ahead, and these are the two tiers. Again, I mentioned $29 a month for 100 devices and $99 a month for 1,000 devices. So very affordable if you're managing, a large organization that really scales well. And if you have more than that, you can just add a second instance and then manage up to 1,000 sites from each instance and so on. And on this one instance, you can have multiple sites for the network side, but it's really easy to manage and pretty straightforward. All right. We got other questions for me right now.
This one, we still have some minutes here. So Tony is asking, please review third-party SIP in a bit more detail. There seems to be more detail that is needed to be added into UniFi Talk configuration than what I saw you go through.
So a lot of it's going to be configured on the third party side. We're basically just pointing you in the direction of where the instance is at, and we have some pre-configuration beforehand. Now we've got some articles out here. Let me see. It looks like this is a dead link. I need to get them to address that. Here it is. That's the proper one. It walks you through the whole setup. So let me show you this real quick. So basically, if you want to use Talk Relay, I'll zoom in here so you guys can see this. But basically, here we are. We have the requirements. Again, official UniFi hosting, like I mentioned. Set up one of those instances like I just showed you. You'll just go ahead and subscribe to that. You'll get the free trial for 30 days if you haven't subscribed yet. And then as long as you have a UniFi Gen 3 talk phone, then you're set up to go through the rest of the process. So here it does, it walks you through it. So you're going to go through the Talk Relay, set that up, enable that on your control plane. So I'll show you where to do that. You'll go in here to settings. Once you've done the official UniFi hosting, go to control plane. And then next to Talk Relay, there'll be an option to click install. You'll just go ahead and click install there. And then your official UniFi hosting instance will be now capable of managing all your Talk phones through Talk Relay. Okay. So next up, then what you have to do is to connect the phones, make sure they're in a factory default state. If you're managing them through our PBX, and it's not gonna work, but you're gonna need to put them in a factory default state. And then you're gonna enable the third-party PBX. There's an option on the phone screen to do that, and this will trigger a firmware update and allow it to be configured with Talk Relay. You'll then scan the QR code to get the and this can be done as separate. You can do this all ahead of time, and then this can just be done whenever you're on the site, on the location. And then you'll configure your PBX server. And so this is just the settings I showed you. You go in here to settings, Talk Relay device. You'll go into add configuration. I'll show you that. Talk Relay, PBX, and then we'll add a configuration here. And this, you'll specify your IP address, domain, the port that it's going to communicate over. And then that's it. You're going to add that configuration. Let's just go ahead and do a test. And that's really, there's not a lot to it. It'll show you how many devices there are that are assigned to that, and then you can go ahead and assign the devices to this PBX profile. Does that answer your question? Is there anything else that I left off there that you think I need to add? I think the rest of the configuration will be specific to the third-party PBX option. So if you're using Ring Central, you'll need to go through Ring Central and make sure everything's configured to be able to facilitate this.
Three last questions here, Andrew. Michael is asking, is there any way to get the soft phone capability without going up to the advanced phone line option, just on the basic line type?
There is not, as far as I'm aware. That's part of that feature set, which, you have the option with UniFi Talk. So previous generations, just a brief introduction or reminder on this, we used to have unlocked and locked phones. Now we have all unlocked phones, so they're not locked onto our PBX, and so it's totally whatever you're using is unlocked, right? On G3. What that means though is that we're not charging anything. We previously would discount the locked phones. The reason that we had it was locked because we could discount it because we could assume that you're going to pay for our phone lines, which is a way that we can generate recoup the cost of obtaining those phone lines and operating that service. So we have now, since we're unlocked, but basically, if you're going to have a public phone line, you need to subscribe to any of those numbers. If you want an external phone line. Now, any phone can be used in an internal capacity as an extension. say your extension 204, it can be used internally without having to subscribe to that service. You'll just need that one subscription for any external, you need that subscription for any external phone line, and then the rest can be all behind that. Now, that is a feature. That's one of the features with the soft phone functionality that I showed you on my phone. That is included with the part of that phone line service. So let me show you real quick what that looks like. You'll go into your settings and talk numbers. You can go ahead and purchase a number, and this is a really nice thing about there will be some reference documents I can refer you to and look at our talk documentation. But you can select between the different. You can choose your own area code of where you want it to be located at, assign it, and then you can choose from available numbers here of what you want to assign out. I think it's been really easy for me. It was really easy for me to set this up. Very straightforward. I'll go ahead and click next. And then now you can see here what is included with this. We're working, what's included with Pro. If you want to stay on Pro, we're going to go to Plus. You're required to have service at an external phone line. And with that, you can also add on additional call transcription minutes, identity app, soft phone, unlimited voice, unlimited SMS. And this is just in US, Canada, Mexico. But that's what's included. And there's going to be more coming to that. But you can go ahead and add that, and then that's the cost for that phone line. But it's not expensive for the phone line. It's just part of the cost of maintaining the service. And you do have the option for the other bells and whistles if you want to do that. It's part of the Pro plan, like you mentioned. So yeah, soft phone is still confined to the Pro, which maybe that will change in the future. I know we have changed other things, made plenty of other things free as time goes on, and we'll just have to see if that changes down the road.
Another quick question from Josh. Can you set up a phone to auto dial a number when lifted off the receiver? Like, for example, a 911?
Can you set it to call 911 automatically whenever you lift it up? I'm honestly not familiar because I've never tested this, and I'm not probably the most experienced talk user. I know how to set it up and manage it on a high level or at a basic level, but in terms of advanced features, I have not set up some of those features. So I wouldn't be able to tell you that, but definitely I'll look into that.
And this is the last one from Mario. Will this work with a SIP provider outside of the US, like in the Caribbean?
I think it should. What you'll just do is you go into the talk relay. Let me switch back over there. Click on talk relay, and what you'll do is instead of choosing one of those options there that are listed, you're going to create a new, and you're going to just choose other and then provide the IP address and domain as long as the ports and everything are there. I don't know in terms of how what barriers there are to compatibility, but I do know that it can work with other options as well.
And thank you very much, Andrew. It was very cool features for the talk phones. Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone for joining today, and I appreciate all the good questions. Feel free to reach out to Flytec and follow up if there's anything that you want to follow up from today. Thanks everyone.